Talking about AC/DC's drummer, this song's called Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. One of my Facebook friends said that. Actually, digital sales of the song went way back up while all that was going on.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting. I hope I could get more of that on an airplane seat next to you.
The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill, next to the Roadside Event Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat, it's where it's at.
I get it. I love a rainy night. I get it. I get it, Wilson. I get it.
Some of you will be scraping windshields today before you go to work or school. Law enforcement hopes in their heart of hearts that you don't just leave your vehicle running with the keys in it. It seems that the criminals lately have become less and less concerned about the consequences for stealing a vehicle.
Well, especially if it's not locked.
Yeah. Keys are in it. It's running, not locked.
Everybody has fobs now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some do, some don't, but oh, no, I don't.
If you're active on Facebook at all, I think everybody's got a friend, and Paul and I have a mutual friend who mostly just posts pictures of himself.
Yep.
And I told Paul, I said, do you even have a picture of you on your phone?
I know.
But different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, I thought I had 3. I found 2. One was a group picture of branding. One was on my birthday. I was working on my swather. I sent one to Maddie. And what was the other one I had? Oh, my favorite cow.
Yeah.
Me and my favorite cow.
I told Paul he should post that one.
Yeah.
That's just as country as you can get right there.
She's got her head right there on my shoulder while I was getting a sack of cake out. And now, if that was a Black Angus, I'd be dead.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Think of the worst girlfriend you ever had in your life, Mark, and then...
Give me a minute to narrow it down.
Yeah. But those are the 3 I had. But... yeah, it's funny what people do. I had about just a little under 2 tenths yesterday.
Okay.
A nice little rain. Ground's thawed. Mm-hmm. Get a little moisture. No snow. I like it. Rain does us more good than snow, and especially when the ground's frozen. But the ground's not frozen right now, so anything we get goes right in. It's perfect. Mountains got some snow yesterday. Sun came out yesterday. I could see Mount Baldy up there in the snowies. They got more snow, and Crazies got some. Down in the Beartooth, they got some more snow. Red Lodge wants to open the day after Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure that Miami Beach is a good name for a ski run. Even though it was my favorite, it just doesn't sound ski-ish.
No, it doesn't really.
You know, but they're going to open the day after Thanksgiving if you like to ski. My son likes to ski. I've been trying to talk some sense in him. Now that you're going to be a dad, 1 month, in fact, they're due. Jake and his wife are due December 13th, you know. You may want to stay off of those runs where you get on the helicopter and they drop you in. Mm-hmm. That type of extreme skiing should no longer be on your to-do list now that you're going to be a dad. I know. So... she's going to have to take care of a baby and stuff like that. She's not going to want to have to take care of somebody who can't walk or has no feeling from his legs down. Yeah. And it happens. And you know what? There was a guy I read the other day. There was a guy that used to do a weekend show on the Newsmax station. Hold on. His name will come to me in just a minute. Michael Grimm, ex-military. He was an ex-congressman. And he hosted the show there in the mornings on Newsmax on the weekend. He got hurt in a horse accident here at the end of September, like Christopher Reed. Mm-hmm. Paralyzed, waist down.
Jeez.
Yeah. So stuff happens. You got to be careful. And I know. Believe me. This is the kettle right here because
Well, you know, even going back to when you and I first started working together, the station bought us a car to drive in a demolition derby. And I asked Paul if he wanted to drive. He said, I'm not getting in that thing.
Yeah. I don't give a damn if you kill yourself. I'm not.
I can't be breaking a leg. And
yeah, that's right. But I had a close call with a four-wheeler once and stuff, and that kind of woke me up a little bit. But
I quit skiing when I was about 40 because I did, even if you haven't skied much, you probably heard the term yard sale. Mm-hmm. And I was coming down M at Red Lodge, a little bit cocky because the snow was just right that day. And apparently I got a lot better at skiing this season. And I think I might even travel to them black runs next time I come up. Mm-hmm. And I hit some snow that was in the shade, and my world changed. And I went butt over tea kettle for over 100 yards. Mm-hmm. Took a chunk out of my shin that you can still feel. I said, you know what? I think I'm done skiing.
Oh, I got a kind of an offshoot relative. He was a great skier, skiing up there at Red Lodge and went over a jump, and broke his pelvis, messed him all up for a long time.
Jeez.
He was a young kid, fortunately, at the time. He was only probably, 29, 30, but got to be careful out there. But then again, too, you can't live your whole life, and not do anything for fear of.
Right.
You just can't.
You just have to be, you and I both are way more, especially me.
Yeah.
I am way more selective about the stuff that I do now.
Oh, heck. But, so you got to be careful.
Traveling today, they're expecting high winds up around Livingston, and I'm talking 50 to 60 miles per hour. And that is going to start just not too far west of Columbus and also exceed north to Harlow and into Judith Gap.
The winds must not blow very hard on the Paradise Valley side of the mountains. When you go through Livingston, you get to the Paradise Valley side.
Right.
Because so many people who have money and they love it and want to live there. If the wind blew every single day,
Right.
50 to 60 miles an hour up there, they wouldn't want to live there.
Both my mom and my stepmom, talking to them this last week, complaining about the wind in Great Falls. Mm-hmm. I said, well, unless you're going to move.
That's right, because you're in Great Falls.
Right. It blows in Great Falls.
Yeah, and so it must hang around more on this side than the other side, than the south side of the mountains up there. So.
Well, let me get you caught up. Market Equities wanted to put in an airport in Livingston.
Who did?
Market Equities.
Uh-huh.
But the land they identified and secured the Forest Service lease was on pastures of the Yellowstone.
Oh no, the Duttons had that?
And John said he promised his dad he'll never sell it, not 1 inch. Mm-hmm. And we don't know what's going to happen now. Did you hear the news?
News?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
John Dutton, they found him dead in the Capitol.
What?
I got to go back and rewatch the episode.
They found him dead, huh?
Uh-huh. Looked like a suicide. Beth thinks it was Jamie. Others think it was that really hot gal that he's been running around with.
Uh-huh.
But
so he's dead.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Yeah.
He won't be coming back. No sixth season of...
There can be a sixth season, but he's such a pivotal character in the whole show. I don't want to watch a series about Rip and Beth.
Yeah. Well, that's the end of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like Gilligan's Island, when they got rescued. That pretty much ruined the show.
Why didn't you just leave with the Globetrotters when they came?
Exactly. Hell, if I'd have been there with Marianne and Ginger, I wouldn't have wanted to leave. Oh, man.
Yeah, Mark says, who killed JR Part 2? Kind of what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just kind of leave it up in the air. Well, that means they'll have to have a funeral. Mm-hmm. That'll be in one of the episodes and stuff like that. So we had some more inquiries into Flakesgiving. I'll talk about them later this morning. People wanting to know how to make their donations and stuff like that. We kicked that all off on Monday, but you can just make your checks to... The one gal wanted to know, was it Thanksgiving Fund or what? No, it's the Flakesgiving Fund, F-U-N-D. And the address is Box 1276, Billings, 59103. We're getting donations in now, and we get them all year long, but they really pick up this time of year during our events. So, and as far as helping and volunteering, there's no list. You don't have to sign up or anything, but we'll give you all that next week. All next week. That's the priority next week. It's already Flakesgiving week. We get to Labor Day, folks. Everything goes so fast. We start with a trip kickoff, and before you know it, we had our trip party, and now here we are to Flakesgiving, and before you know it, we're Christmas, and before you know it, after that, we're at Rub It In week. Mm-hmm. By the way, I haven't heard from Deanna here lately. We got to be into the 60s, don't we?
She messaged me yesterday.
Got to be into the 60s for days left, for goodness sakes.
68 today.
68 today, huh? Good. That's not too many. I know the first group heads out, I think the 19th, because that's the day I got to go, and there's about 15 going that day with me. So, yep, time flies. Before you know it, we'll all be laying flat, 6 feet under, like John Dutton. Oh, man. I think they have some guns being smuggled down there into the Caribbean. AP is blaming the United States for the surge in killings down around San Juan, Puerto Rico, because the guns were manufactured here in the United States. Well, yippee skippy. You can't do that. You can't blame bad test scores on the pencil. You can't blame murderers on guns made in America. You just can't. You can't blame obesity on French pastry. You just can't. illegal firearms. Oh, well, these aren't legal. These are illegal firearms going down in there. Well, that's the problem. They're illegal, not that they're made in the USA. Relentless. These people are relentless.
Yes, they are.
In their attacks on everything. On everything. Here's another one today. Trump spends the week as president-elect behind closed doors at Mar-a-Lago. For a man who loves the spotlight, listen to how that's the first sentence.
And Paul, it's going to be worse the next four.
That's what they teach you in journalism school at UM. Never let up on the opposition. For a man who loves the spotlight, Donald Trump has been conspicuously out of view since his triumph. No, it's not. There is nothing conspicuous about what he's doing. He has been with his team, making appointments to his cabinet and other positions and making policy decisions in Mar-a-Lago all week. This man has worked more in the last week trying to get the country straightened out than Joe Biden has done in the last year.
True story.
I saw footage of him tripping on the beach and all. I mean, man's a mess. Man's a mess for the man who loves the spotlight. Here's a finger for you guys, too.
Sad.
That's right. They're members of SAD, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
He's been surrounded by advisors and others with advice as they select the people for top government jobs. Well, there's the answer to your question of why they've been so busy there. He's picked a lot of folks, to get things going. This guy, he's going to hit the ground running. He's got 4 years. That's it. He's got 1,400 days to turn America around. That's all he has. And he's going to do everything he can in those 1,400. He wants to hit the ground running.
It's a busy month at the Blue Cat Bar and Grill and the Roadside Event Center. November 17th, sports fans, join us for the Cat and Grizz Sweet Sundries Cookie Class. Have a blast creating unique holiday treats. November 23rd, it's Glow Bingo with DJ Dave Austin. A fun-filled night with lots of lights and the chance to win big. Cooler temps call for the Cat's warm bread bowls with homemade soup. Don't miss prime rib Saturdays and sushi and sliders on Sunday nights. The Blue Cat Bar and Grill in Huntley, just 9 miles east of the Metro Park exit.
He's picked a lot of people to help him with it. He's going to have Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy lead the Department of Government Efficiency. Now, Democrats are going to hate this because they don't believe in government efficiency. They believe in massive government spending.
True.
No efficiency whatsoever. You got to remember, government, we talk about it every month. They add more jobs every month than any other industry in America is government. They add a city the size of Bozeman every month. I've been going over it. This is available from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, by the way. Every time we get the job numbers, I go over them for you. And those two are entrepreneurial men. They have built so many things from the ground up. People know a lot about Elon Musk, but they don't know about Vivek Ramaswamy. He's also an entrepreneur that has built many companies from the ground up. That's how he made his money. They know about efficiency. They're going to clean it up, folks. They're going to clean it up. Another big announcement yesterday, if you didn't hear, Donald Trump has promised that he is going to end the Department of Education.
Really?
Yes. It's about time. If there's any department that has failed America in the last 40 years, it has been the Department of Education. Overblown bureaucracy, indoctrinating agency that has ruined schools in America. The Department of Education, the Federal Department of Education, folks. That's why everybody's brainwashed. That's why you see these interviews with kids that yell death to the Jews and hate Republicans and are only worried about, gender. And I mean, it's just crazy. And he is going to eliminate that and give all the power and the money to individual states, which is the way it should be. States will run their own educational programs.
Wow. Big move.
Big move. That's why it's so important that we elected somebody like Susie Hedlund here in Montana to run our Office of Public Instruction. People like that. States should have the power. Folks, that's what the Constitution said. But the left turned this around where the feds are overbearing and overwhelming over everything you do in your life. They have and they're returning the power back to the people and to the states the way it was originally planned. That will help. It will give states the ability to do their own test scores, their own academic standards, their own. I've been preaching this for years. We need academic standards in Montana that have to be reached before you get a diploma. We all had to pass those, or you don't pass. So he's going to eliminate that. Mike Huckabee was picked yesterday to be the ambassador to Israel. He wants Pete Hegseth, who has a long military career that was also doing a weekend show on Fox. He was the host of One in the Morning. Picked him to be the Secretary of Defense to run the military. He's written numerous books on the military, wokeness, the problem within our military ranks. A lot of people were questioning him. Well, what experience does he have? These are the lib nuts. He's got a hell of a lot more experience than the people Joe Biden had put. What experience did Kamala Harris have when she was selected as vice president, the second most important person in the world? None. What experience did Antony Blinken, who is our Secretary of State, have when he was chosen in the most important foreign policy position we have, not only in America, but probably the world, when he was put in place? He was Joe Biden's campaign director. That was his foreign policy experience. So don't give me your crap. I'll give you another one. We ought to have Taylor Brown be Ag Secretary. How do you like that? Shove that up your ass. Taylor Brown ought to be our Ag Secretary then, as long as we're going this way.
Yeah, why not?
Hell, well, things sure are looking better in the wheat market today. There you go. There's another one. I vote for Taylor for Ag Secretary.
Qualified, well-spoken.
You bet. Kristi Noem from South Dakota wants to put her in charge of the Department of Homeland Security. That's interesting. She's a doer. Who do we have right now? Mayorkas, who should have been impeached, but John Tester wouldn't vote for him to be impeached. But he did vote for the president, who he tried to align himself with and got his ass kicked in the election. But Homeland Security folks, they are in charge of the Secret Service. They're in charge of FEMA. They're in charge of the border. And look what a wreck all those were. Now we know that FEMA was directed by one of their leaders not to help anybody in the hurricanes that had a Trump sign on their house.
I saw that.
And they're investigating that. That FEMA person is in big doo-doo. And folks, that's just awful. Oh, my God. How do you sleep at night? So he picked her to clean that up a little bit. But I like my favorite thing that he's doing so far is the Government Efficiency Task Force. We waste so much money in America. People have become so filthy rich from wasted money in America. Our debt is skyrocketing. That little meter is spinning like a slot machine every day, and I really like that. I'll tell you another one we can get rid of, too, was the Department of Energy. That started back in the 70s with Nixon. We don't need a Department of Energy. That's just more control. All these things they have, are control over you. That's what you got to remember. All these departments are all control over Americans, their lives, and their right to have it the way they want it. That's what it is. Department of Education, the only thing that was about, folks, was control. And how did they do that? They promised you money. We promised you $8,000 a kid for every kid, but you got to do it our way. They had control over you. Oh, the bastards. They had control over you. That's all these agencies were. Power back to the people and to the states. That's what killed them in the election. It was too big to rig.
Yeah.
It was too overwhelming. People want their country back. They didn't like the direction. That's why, not because they were labeled as a racist or a homophobe or anything if you disagreed with them. No, they wanted their country back. That's just it. Wanted their country back. Get rid of those departments, get the government more efficient, put good people in place. There's going to be a major overhaul of the FBI, the CIA, FEMA, the Department of Justice. That's the next big one. I'm waiting to see who the Attorney General is, who that will be. They have to clean up a lot of the dirty work, all these fake trials and stuff, trying to jail political opponents. That stuff commies do, and we were doing it. See, folks, we're getting things back the way it should be, giving you more power, getting the government off your butt, and the government doesn't act like that. They don't even follow their own rules. I was out in the kitchen getting some coffee, and I don't know why. I happened to look at this a sign while I was warming up my coffee. Law prohibits discrimination and retaliation, okay? Employment, housing, education, public accommodations, finance, insurance. Discrimination is unlawful based on these items. Now, I want you to listen to these. I don't even know why I looked at this. Age, race or color, religion, physical disability, mental disability, marital status, national origin, family status, political beliefs, sex, or vaccination status. And I thought, look what Joe Biden and Steve Bullock, your old governor, and all these other people did around the country to people who were not vaccinated. It's right there, Mark, in the law, right there, black and white, so everybody can see right there, vaccination status. And they fired you. They fired people in our U.S. military. They kicked them out. They kicked them out because of vaccination status. Government jobs, restaurants closed. People's businesses were shut down by this overbearing government. And it's right there in the law. That's what they're getting after. This is what they're targeting. The power is going to go back to the people, and the power is going to go back to the states. Your overbearing, overrun, over-financed government, those days, at least for the next future of 4 years, are over. They got to clean it up, and they only got 1,400 days. So if you're wondering what Trump's doing down in Mar-a-Lago, he's not doing what Joe Biden's doing. He's not licking ice cream cones and trying to figure out why there's no bones in Cocoa Puffs, because that's what he's doing. He's gone. He's gone. He's mentally not there. That's what he's doing already, hitting the ground running, building his national security team. Steve Witkoff's been named special envoy to the Middle East. That is a rat screw going on over there and a threat to the world. We got to fix that. John Ratcliffe, he's picked John to lead the Central Intelligence Agency. That is going to clean that up. We have a series of global crisis going on right now, and that's according to AP. Russia's war in the Ukraine, the Middle East, Iranian proxies all over the world escalating their attacks on people because of radical Muslim ideology, Hamas, Hezbollah, North Korea. This new alliance, folks, between China, North Korea, Iran, and Russia, that's a threat to the whole world. We got to deal with that. That's why he's in Mar-a-Lago, folks. He's dealing with everything that the Democrats and Biden have screwed up over the last 4 years. That's why he's there. Have to make the military great again. That's what Pete Hegseth said yesterday. Get wokeness out of our military. Update our military hardware, our weaponry to compete. We don't have supersonic, hypersonic missiles that can travel across the globe now, but the other nations do. They've already developed them. We haven't. Folks, as I told you, we don't even have a missile defense system anywhere on our border. We sell them to everyone else, but we don't have them positioned in places like New York City, Los Angeles, Seattle. We don't have them. Hegseth's got a big job in front of him. Clean that up.
It's a busy month at the Blue Cat Bar and Grill in the Roadside Event Center. November 17th, sports fans, join us for the Cat and Grizz Sweet Sundries Cookie Class. Have a blast creating unique holiday treats. November 23rd, it's Glow Bingo with DJ Dave Austin. A fun-filled night with lots of lights and the chance to win big. Cooler temps call for the Cat's warm bread bowls with homemade soup. Don't miss prime rib Saturdays and sushi and sliders on Sunday nights. The Blue Cat Bar and Grill in Huntley, just 9 miles east of the Metro Park exit.
So does Nome. She's picked Department of Homeland Security. She's got a big job in front of her. Bill McGinley would be cabinet secretary. This is what they're doing in Mar-a-Lago, AP, in case you don't know. They're building and planning for when January 20th comes. They're going to hit the ground running. 3 days after January 20th come with Joe Biden, he went back to Delaware to his vacation home. He'd only been president in 3 days. Local officials are beginning to certify the results of the election from last week. It's been playing out quietly, in stark contrast to the tumultuous period 4 years ago following then Donald Trump's loss. You know why? Because there were all kinds of allegations of fraud, miscounting, ballot box stuffing all across America, voting machines not working properly all across. This year, the reason it's so quiet is because the victory was overwhelming. Too big to rig. big. That's why. Everybody knows that. Hell, the Democrats aren't even fighting it. Now, they will fight it. They will fight it on certification day. They will fight it when it goes to Congress and has to be certified. Every one of those inbreds will be, I make a motion that we remove this candidate from office. It's, blah. Every one of them will do that. And Kamala Harris is the vice president. She's the one that has to oversee the certification of the election results. That's going to taste good. Some certification boards are working to stop the process. Michigan trying to delay it, in Arizona, Nevada, and Pennsylvania, so they can go back, recount, and see if they can find a couple 100,000 votes to overturn. Yeah, that's what they're doing now. So it's going to happen, but they're already getting things in place. That getting rid of the Department of Education is big. Big. Now, your people will be able to decide what's in the best interest of your children, your state, not the feds. Not the feds. Oh, the amount of STDs in the United States are falling. For those of you north of town, that's not an agency that delivers flowers. We're talking STD. They sexually transmitted diseases. The syphilis epidemic has slowed. Gonorrhea has fallen again. Experts were blaming declining condom use and inadequate sex education and reducing testing during COVID. Syphilis cases last year fell 10% from the year before. Gonorrhea down 7%. Well, look how many buffets have since been eliminated, which I've always told you, you better be careful.
That's not where you get it.
I don't care what they say.
If you get it there, you're doing it wrong.
No, you don't want to touch them spoons, folks. Antibiotics helped. Syphilis is most dangerous in its early stages. Dropped 13% among gay and bisexual men. A lot of the sexual transmitted disease problems we have, how can I put this delicately?
You can.
Yes, I can. Don't tell me I can't put stuff delicately. Is among certain groups where Mother Nature has decided that, wait a minute, that's not the way the process was supposed to work. And so we ran into problems. There, that was pretty damn delicate, wasn't it?
Yeah, for you.
What do you mean for me? What do you mean for me?
It was just fine.
I'm delicate. And syphilis can be passed to your newborn from an infected mother into their newborn and can result in stillborn deaths of infants. That's right. There were almost 300 last year babies who died because of it. One doctor said you got to test women so we can take care of that before the baby's born. So anyway, those cases are down across the board. My whole career has been spent being delicate. What do you mean? Jeez. I haven't been into the paper here for a while. Let's see what's going on here. We missed anything today you need to know about?
They're going to look to make a deal and start shipping some prisoners out of state.
All from our prisons?
They gave the numbers for how many inmates versus capacity. And for instance, the Montana Women's Prison just down the street from us, capacity is 240, currently housing 248. And Paul and I were standing there Monday morning. That will soon be 249.
Yes, it will. Remember, I don't know, folks, if you remember this many, many moons ago, that I made a suggestion on how to cut down our crime rate in America and also how to help our neighbors to the south to give them more employment opportunities and everything. And that is to construct massive prisons in Mexico. Let them house our prison inmates. Let them do it the way they want. We pay them. It cost, I don't know how much it cost, what the latest is. Let me see if Siri knows. Hey, Siri, what's the average cost to incarcerate a prisoner in the United States? That was too big of a word for Siri, I think. She doesn't. She's not answering me. That's your phone?
Yes.
Oh, okay. It's got to be, what, $2,000, close to $2,000 a month? And by the way, I've got nothing going on with your girlfriend.
We're going to talk about that a little later.
I got nothing going on with her. The fact that she recognized my voice was just a coinky-dink. Anyway, the point is
$116.91 per day federal.
Per day.
Yeah.
Multiply that times 30, folks. That's $3,500 a month. You could pay Mexico $2,000 a month. If we said, would you house our prisoners for $2,000 a month per prisoner? You know what Mexico would say?
See?
Very good. Very good, Mr. Wilson. That's funny. We could save $1,500 a person per month, incarcerate them, and I'll guarantee you they would make a place down there that those prisoners would not want to go to.
You don't have rights here.
You get caught, you have a felony, you go to federal prison, guess what? They are now taking care of our incarceration. I said that many, many years ago. People would not want to go to prison. Now they go to prison, they just conduct business in our federal prisons like they do anywhere else. They do their drug deals, they get pot in there, all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's no biggie for them. Send them there. Guatemala, some of these poorer nations. How about the Congo? Put them on a ship, send them to the Congo, and you can do your time there. And when you're done, then you can come back to the United States again. Pay them. Help their economies. Save us $1,500 a prisoner per month. Oh, yeah. That would cut down on it a little bit.
And it's going to give some in the criminal world, maybe I don't want to be a criminal and take a chance of going to Mexican jail.
Yeah, that's right. Because word would spread of what it's like in there. Some days you get fed, some days you don't. They throw an antelope in there once a week and you gnaw on it, something like that. I've always said that. But, so Montana, where are we shipping them to, did it say, Wilson?
No, just that they've got to work out a deal with the governor's office as far as budget.
Oh, yeah.
Forecasts show prison populations will continue to trend upward.
Wow. I love that picture of John Tester in the paper today talking with his supporters during his election night party. You ought to see the look on his face. God, there goes my new 4-track Steiger tractor I just bought. That's what he's thinking. Well, you distanced yourself too far from people here and aligned yourself too closely to Washington, D.C. controlling government people, and it cost you.
And partly personal. You placed too many ads.
There you go. You alienated anybody that has ever moved here for a better life.
Right.
Brought a family here, started a family by telling them, you don't belong here. That hurt you. In fact, it would be interesting, I don't know demographically how you could find it out, but I would venture to say that most of the people that are here in Montana came from somewhere else.
Could be.
People that were born here, lived their whole life here, never moved away, and still, I'll bet it's got to be close to 50-50 now in Montana, but that hurting. See, the Bayer Company, they, Bayer, the maker of aspirin and other things, they're big into crop production, stuff like that now, specialty crops. They have a big ad in the paper today, and they have some stats here about farming in Montana. 57.6 million acres of farmland. 21,000 Montanans work in agriculture. That's probably one of the lowest numbers we've ever had in Montana. $6.2 billion worth of business, ag business in the state, so it's still a big industry, but fewer and fewer people in it. I wonder how many acres of federal, state, and BLM land we have in Montana. I wonder if it outpaces the amount of farmland acres.
You mean all the stuff he's going to sell?
Yeah, yeah, or buy.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, he's going to buy it, but... And finally, I had somebody ask and inquire about this yesterday. Those auditors are still looking into the Billings utility companies after that billing debacle. And they're testing the meters, testing your new meters that they put in for a lot of people there. Find out after they did that and switched to a new software system where everybody's usage water graphs were pretty much stable for the last 8 years. And then this year, it looked like the World Trade Tower when nothing in your life changed.
Well, that's because you didn't know you had a leak.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that was just irresponsible on their part to say that thousands and thousands of homeowners all got the same leak at the same time during the same billing period. That was a coinky-dink. What are you dumbasses? You can't. People aren't going to buy that. Anyway, the city's paying for this audit. This company has to do it. They paid them $75,000 to check out the meters and stuff like that. So, and they also have to inspect and verify the accuracy of the software that they're using. So they're going to do that too. But they got to get to the bottom of it. And if it finds out that it's the city's fault, it's the meter's fault, and it was the software's fault, guess what? They're going to have to make restitution.
That's right.
For people. You overcharged them for stuff they didn't use. You're just going to have to do it. That's all there is to it. And people forget a lot of things, but they don't forget a bill that isn't right.
And wasn't right by a long stretch. I've been paying $38 and my bill this last month was $4.50.
Yeah, that's something they're not going to forget. So you're going to have to take care of that. But I don't know how long the audit will take, folks. But because after they do it and they test a certain amount of meters and they'll have to compare all the information, come up with the results, and present it to the committee and the administration and the city council, and they'll have to do all that, and this is what we found, and blah, 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 blah. So who knows how long it'll take, but at least they're now finally looking into it versus their first approach, which was to deny any responsibility, tell you your water usage was up and you had a leak. We're a little past that now, at least.
Yes,
so we'll keep an eye on it for you if we're still around.
All right, first news coming up, 6:16.
The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill, next to the Roadside Events Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat, it's where it's at.
O'Reilly. You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly.